This episode is not about blaming women or defending men. It is about helping men honestly examine the internal patterns that influence who they pursue, why they stay, why they leave, and why the same relationship cycles often repeat. The goal is that every viewer, especially every man, walks away asking, what patterns have I been repeating that I never noticed before?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Love and Truth Podcast. I am James. This is my wife, Lene, and we're so excited about this particular episode. Last episode, we had three beautiful women on the episode and segment, and we just talked about relationships. We talked about just discovery. We talked about challenges that women face while dating and said, you know what? We want to follow that up with a conversation with the men. So we've got some brothers on the set today, and we're going to talk about just, dating. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about not what's going on with the other person, but we want to talk about what's going on inside the man. So this is going to be a real reflective conversation with the man, open, transparency. And one of the things that men struggle with is just having a safe space to be vulnerable and just talk. So we're creating that safe space today so that our brothers feel comfortable just sharing. And hopefully we can help other men that are out there that may be dealing with some of the same challenges. And so, guys, welcome to the set.
Absolutely.
Welcome
to the set. We're excited about this one. What I like to do, unless you want to say something before we get started.
No, you're doing a great job.
If you guys can just introduce yourselves, give us a little bit of background, kind of where you're from. Let's not get into all of the particulars, but just a little bit of who you are and so on.
Yeah, so my name is Keto Gentry. I'm a Houston native, born and raised. I do marketing consulting here in the Houston city. And man, I do very well for myself, and I'm happy to be here on the show.
Where can they find you? Your socials?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at Keto Gentry. You can find me on TikTok at The Vibe Curator, and also Facebook and as well, Keto Gentry.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And what's up, everybody? My name is Demetrius Walker. I'm a serial entrepreneur, DJ, and owner of Meek's Vegan Pizza here in Midtown Houston. And I like to talk.
Where can they find you on your socials?
You can find me on Instagram at Vote for Meek or Meekonomics.
Meekonomics. Okay.
Well,
Awesome.
Welcome to the safe space, first of all, and thank you for taking out your time. Being that I'll be the only woman here today, you don't have to worry about me interrupting like some women do.
Oh, my God.
And I apologize for the women that like to overtalk because we want to be heard and we're not listening.
Yes.
All right. So I apologize for that. So let's go, baby.
Let's go. Let's get with it. So I want to begin with reflection instead of opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just take a moment to reflect here. When you look back over your relationship history, what patterns did you see in yourself? Not the women. What patterns did you see in yourself that kind of resonates and stands out?
Man, you want to take that with me? Or I can, No, I'm kidding. No, man, when I sit back and I look back in time, I think for me, a lot of it had to do with discipline. Not only just discipline, just understanding the nature of what commitment, honesty, all these things. I didn't really have that direction, growing up. I was just a little kid, just moving around, doing what I do. And so that kind of unfolded into, my, relationships or what have you, because I didn't have the knowledge, the understanding, accountability, things of that nature. So, when I look back, man, I take full responsibility for my actions when I look back.
So when you say discipline, the lack of discipline, growing up, not really being modeled or okay. You got to follow up.
Yeah.
Because I want to ask Meek the same question. He got to answer that one too.
Well, let him answer.
Okay.
First.
Yeah.
It's a great question. I went back to ground zero just this past weekend. I was in North Carolina.
Okay.
I DJ'd my big cousin's wedding.
Okay.
And while I was out there in North Carolina, I remembered when I was 14 years old, I had my first job. Mm-hmm. I worked as a pharmacy assistant at Beth Abraham Hospital in the Bronx, New York.
Okay.
And I remember getting my first check, and it was this real pretty girl in my neighborhood. she was fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, she saw I was working. So, you know, she gave me a little conversation.
Right.
And I remember getting that first paycheck and I bought her some flowers and stuff, you know, trying to be all romantic, get on her good side. And, you know, the summer was great. You know what I'm saying? You know, we were hooking up, you know, my first kiss, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I heard, you know, coming home from work one day that she was out with this other dude
Oh man.
named Maurice.
Okay.
Shout out to Maurice.
Maurice, right. And he was younger than me. And, you know, I couldn't believe it. You know, I confronted her about it. You know, she lied about it. And then I heard it from multiple other sources
Right.
that she was running around behind my back with some dude that ain't had no job. I'm 14 with a job. She running around with a bum. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
And that was the moment that I stopped trusting women.
Man, can I come back? Can I counter that?
Please.
Let me, Meek. Now, when I go back, not only I talk about the discipline, the understanding, all those things, but man, you just hit something because I dealt with some situations as a kid, being bullied and targeted as a kid, man. And that, man, in 7th grade, no, 5th grade, man, I'm just walking home, girls just beating up on me and going on. It really triggered something. So, man, yeah, I feel you on that one right there.
Yeah. You know, you got to go back all the way to the core
man.
and figure out where these feelings come from.
Yes,
so
sir.
I realized I did not trust women from that point forward. And I was determined never to get played again. And
so talking about a pattern, right? So now you're going into relationships with that in the back of your mind. It's like, man, I'm not going to be another simp.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be a sucker. I'm not going. Oh, you just want my money. That's all you wanted.
Exactly. So all of those thoughts, and I was always like, I got to have a plan B in case, you know,
Maurice show up.
Hey, you know, it's
Maurice show up.
I got my backup chick. It don't hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So you know what? Can I counter that again?
Yeah.
Meek, honestly, your story is very parallel with mine because that's exactly what I dealt with. And, you know, I dealt with exactly that, bro. I had that saying, you know, I ain't gonna never do this again. I ain't gonna let nobody play me again or bully me no more. I ain't dealing with none of this no more. You feel me? So
100%.
that's where it triggered for me. I was like, I ain't letting nobody play me like that or beat up on me no more. And it started right there, man. That's cool.
So I know you're gonna jump into this. So as you got older, growing up, because you're like a 14, right?
Yeah.
We're like, this is middle school.
It's 30 years ago.
30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So would it be fair to say when any of those type of situations showed up or looked like that, you went into straight, you know, defense, protection, you know, you trying to make sure you cover yourself.
I was going to be the player. I wasn't going to get played again.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
you playing offense and not defense.
Yeah.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
That's good.
can I say something else though?
That's why we're here to talk about it.
Something, man. Because, you know, when I think about it, man, I realized not only was I thinking like that, but I'm also attracting that energy.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm the universe is giving me exactly what I'm feeling. So it had to take me to change my mentality, change that mindset. I remember my mom telling me, Keto, you just can't continue to think like that no more. You have to let that go. And so, but we can get on, you know, we get into that, what have you. But yeah, man.
You know, I want to touch on this too, because at the event that we held a few weeks ago, I went through this, I asked everybody to finish a statement, right? And I'm asking y'all to do the same, right? Girls like what type of boys?
Bad boys.
Yeah. What type of guys finish last?
Nice guys. Yeah.
Universal, right?
Universal
Yes.
answer.
Women want guys that are at least how tall?
6 feet.
6 feet.
At least 6 feet. Making how much?
At least
100K.
6 figures?
6 figures. Yep.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about like patterns and how we grew up, you start seeing these similar patterns and everybody's kind of operating like that. But I'm gonna let you go because we sitting over here talking. Well, what follow-up questions did you have? Because this is really good.
Well, I want to know, because that happened to you guys when you were younger, right?
Yes.
And oftentimes when we're younger, we can't put language to it at that time.
Yes.
We're just going through life, right?
Yes.
We don't know why certain things are showing up because most of the time we don't have the capacity. We are not mature enough to understand. As you became an adult, though, when did you, because you said you just thought about ground zero the other day.
Yeah.
When did you think about, man, I'm realizing some patterns in myself about how I'm choosing? When did you discover that?
For me, it was being married and divorced. So, at 29, I was like, man, I'm about to be 30. I need to go ahead and get married and start a family because I saw all my other friends were doing it. And I didn't want to be the last one that didn't get married and start a family. So I kind of rushed into a marriage. The woman just came along at the perfect time where I had already decided before I met her that I was going to marry the next one that I met.
Oh, wow.
And, I really didn't do the work to figure out whether we were truly compatible. And the marriage was turbulent and ended quickly. And, going through that process of coming out of a divorce, I learned so much more about myself, about how I like to communicate, just various things about how I wanted to interact with my partner that I didn't know prior to being married. And so I had to do some more self-reflection and really figure out, okay, am I the problem? What have I been doing wrong all this time where I allowed this situation to occur and to end it the way that it did?
I mean, me and Meek just have the most similar.
This is three.
And it's almost like
3 to hardware over here, man.
What he's saying, it's like I want. Sorry, but I really want to say a lot more. But it's like he's saying exactly how I was feeling, and just jumping into relationships and doing things just reckless, not just really thinking about it. And I was just more, again, just on the defense than more. I was just on the defense all the time. And so I was just always on the defense. And I don't trust this person. I don't know. I have a word that I use. I didn't have the words at that time to communicate or articulate how I felt. But now, like I say, right now, I have this thing where I was more in a observationship than I was a relationship.
That's good.
Right? I was always observing. I was doing everything as a boyfriend or in a relationship, but I was still observing, like, can I deal with that? Can I handle this? Do I like that? I don't know if I want to deal with that. So I was never committed. I was never fully in.
Yeah.
So I found myself doing that in all my relationships.
So were you waiting for something to happen or to come up?
I was lying to myself and trying to convince myself to think something that didn't even exist. So I just wasn't being truthful.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was me.
What's funny, what Meek said earlier, a few minutes ago, I was at 20. I don't know what happens around 29, 30.
Yeah. You just think you're supposed to have it figured out.
Same scenario. All my boys done got married. I done been to 3 weddings. And I'm like, yo, man, I mean, what you doing?
Right.
Nobody's single anymore around me, right? They've all gotten married. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try to lock in somewhere and start. So that pressure to kind of align with kind of where you feel like you should be without doing the work. It wasn't no vetting process. It was just, okay.
Yeah, because people tell you, oh, you don't want to be 50, 60 trying to play basketball with your kids. So it's like, all right, 30, all right, I could still buzz his ass a little bit if I need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, 45, 50 with a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Man. Nah, man, nobody's trying to do that. No, but that's real. So when you think about the truth about yourself, what was the hardest thing you had to admit about yourself as you kind of went through? And I think I stole my wife's question, but
it's okay.
What was the hardest thing you had to admit?
The hardest thing I had to admit is that I like to be left alone. And women like to be number one in your life. You know, they want to see that they are the top priority in your life above work, above your hobbies, above anything, really, even your own family. And, realizing that I just actually prefer isolation a lot more than I realized that I do.
Yeah.
That was a tough thing. I'm a Capricorn as well. So,
and I was about to ask him, what was your horoscope? Like,
yeah,
dude,
I got my whole birth chart here. So this was a part of my process of self-reflection. I'm into astrology and the zodiac, and I'm really a science guy. So, this is all about math and gravitation, the gravitational forces that have an impact on how we evolve as human beings.
Yeah.
And so just doing that self-reflection, not only through this, but, reading various books, self-help books, exercise, and really just determining what my true limits are as a person. That whole process started after I got divorced.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. Here we go again. And Meek is just answering all my questions and things I'm thinking in my mind. But, again, self-reflection, man, just really digging in and get to know who I was, understand the dynamics of the person I want to become. And so, man, this is really good. This is really good, man. It's very healthy for me. I can say a lot, guys, but yeah, man.
We got
good.
time.
Yeah, Black.
We got time.
You can say
Go ahead. Now you got another question.
Before we go to the next question, what I would like to say is, oftentimes we think that we are just falling into unhealthy relationships, right? And we're not. What we're normally doing is falling into patterns.
Yeah.
What we normally do is we fall into familiarity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the one thing that was just stated. I just wasn't telling myself the truth. So one of the places that I know that we all, whether you male, female, where we have to be honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not honest with yourself, you'll build every relationship on a lie because you went in with a lie. That's just like when we get into relationships. It's foolish to think that we go into the relationship based on a lie and then truth comes and it just, everything's good. That's not the way that this works. So for you to say that, I applaud you because most of the time we don't say, you know what? I wasn't dealing in truth with me. And when we don't deal in truth with ourselves, like we got a whole issue going on. So my next question though here is, you took my question, honey.
I did.
You did. What version of yourself was choosing those particular women?
I'd failed to listen to BBD when I was growing up. They said never trust a big butt and a smile. I kept choosing poison.
Okay.
I kept choosing poison. And then the problem is I didn't trust the big butt and a smile because I remember back to when I was 14, the more beautiful they are, the less I could probably trust them. And so I was always like, I don't believe what she's telling me. She probably out with somebody else right now. So it's the constant paranoia. And, and I think that served to destroy many relationships for me because I just had no foundational trust whatsoever.
So the version of yourself was the one where it's just the sight. I'm looking at the beauty. I'm looking at the, the
Primarily.
big butt.
Primarily.
So you gravitated toward that.
Primarily.
And so can you say that began for a pattern for you as you began to choose your other relationships?
I chose a lot of broken women on purpose because I was like, I would identify, first of all, appearance-wise, she meets my standard, she's somebody that I could brag about, that when I bring in a room, everybody's going to be like, damn, you did a good job. So that's ego-driven first and foremost.
Okay.
That's good.
Secondly, they typically was something going on with them emotionally, a little bit of emotional instability. I tended to attract women that a lot of people would call crazy, and the crazier they were, the more attractive they were to me.
Okay.
The more unstable they were, the more attractive they were to me. I was like, I could work with that.
You can fix that. That's good, man. God, dog.
Before you answer the question, I have one other question. What was your relationship like with your mom?
My mom was a strict disciplinarian growing up. We were very, very close when I was young, super young. I left home at 14 and I went to boarding school. So I was away from home from 14 on. I've been away from home. And so our relationship once I got into boarding school was, through the phone, and then the phone became few and far between the phone calls. I wasn't calling home as much. And so I do have a lot of, I feel bad that I didn't keep in touch with my mom as much as I should have. And even to this day, I have to remind myself, I got to check on mom. She's here in Houston. She did move down to Houston to be closer to me back in 2009. But my mom looks out for me in ways that no other person on earth has or will. And I'm constantly trying to be a better person for her and be a better son.
Got it.
Can I counter
Please and
with
thank
the mother?
Mhm.
So I have a phenomenal, amazing mom. She's just a wonderful lady. And in these relationships I've been in, I always ask myself the question, Keto, why are you acting out this way when your mama is so loving, right? And I ask myself, where is this really coming from? You know what I mean? Because she did everything she was supposed to do for us. She took care of us. She always protected us when neighborhoods was changing. She moved and shifted out the way. You know what I mean? She sacrificed a lot. And so sometimes the women I've communicated with or I dated with reminds me of my mom because of their nurturing spirit. So I would always cater to that portion of it, not realizing they are crazy. They are a little off. And to Meek's point, I was attracting. I kind of liked that. I was like, oh yeah, I can work with this or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really healthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would always try to justify their behaviors to continue on in this relationship when I know it wasn't healthy in the first place. You know what I mean? And so, but I always try to find something in that person so I can hold on to that. You know what I mean? And so, but again, it never ended well. But at the same time, my mom was just an amazing woman. And so, so when I meet women or what have you, I kind of see that in them or whatever. But yeah, man. So yeah, man.
Yeah. No,
This is real though.
No, this is a real conversation, right?
conversation.
Because I think about, I don't know if it was E40, Captain Save 'em. See, that's why a guy can be in a drive-through at Whataburger and see them brown little slacks she got on and be like, "What's up, shorty? I get,
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
And
so you're looking for that because you said a little bit broken, got a little,
She needs a little help.
She needs a little help.
A little guidance. I can help.
And so is it? This is a good conversation because men need to feel needed.
Right.
Because if you just got it all together, then what do you need me for?
Man, I've ruined our relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're thinking like that, and if that's the energy, and some of it might be rooted in a little, maybe insecurity, a little ego, a little all of that stuff mixed in, but I'm choosing that, and I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, this is my younger brother, so he talking about the same lady, our mom. So I validate everything he says. It's true. But it's like, we saw our mom kind of work through, make things happen, struggling as a single mom with 4 boys. So you see somebody, struggling. It's like, you know what? My mom was going through that. Let me, maybe I can help her out a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but that was a pattern.
Right.
Like for me, dating, that was a pattern. I'm noticing the same thing in my retrospection as I'm looking backwards. It was always something missing that I could fill a void.
Right.
Wow.
So it just kind of drove that. You got something on that?
You just really tapped into something because now when I think about it, when I make the comment about seeing certain things in the women I've talked to, it was mom that I was seeing in them. And I was like, man, but not realizing I'm not
Making a connection.
I'm not making a connection. And, hearing my brother say that makes sense now why I was doing the things that I was doing because it was because of mom. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I want to say this though. my mom was such a great example for me that I did not believe that women could be dishonest until this little girl came along when I was 14. I didn't think women lied. I didn't think it was in the realm of possibility that women were dishonest.
Right.
Until that one little girl came
She
along.
broke something in you.
She ruined it for me.
Yeah.
No, Morris.
Maurice, man. Maurice came along. What was this? Rashid.
Man.
Brother ain't got no job.
Don't got nothing.
Oh my goodness. Okay, no, that's good. All right, cool. So, let's jump into this.
Okay.
If today's version of you met the women that you dated 10 years ago, 20 years ago, would you still choose her today?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm a lot more wiser. Got a little more understanding. I can communicate better. I can talk better. I can really express myself. I never really knew how to express myself at that time. I just kind of went with things. I just went with the flow just to make them happy. But now, the space that I'm in, I have the vernacular and the understanding to be able to communicate and express myself in a way where, I just couldn't, I can't do it.
Yeah. I think I fumbled a few good ones.
Okay. Talk about it.
Over the past 10 to 15 years, I definitely fumbled a few good ones. One in particular, I thought she could be a little bit more attractive, so it was vanity on my part. Ego. She was a great woman, super smart.
Meek just bringing the real out here. Meek just bringing the real.
I love it.
I had no problems in any department. In the bedroom, she was holding it down. She just didn't have a big enough booty, man. And that was that was my hang up. I was like, my wife got to have a big enough booty. That's what it was.
But this is good. I know it's a lot of people.
I knew it was gonna be something else.
I'm waiting to hear.
Okay.
But it's good because he's speaking on behalf of what a lot of men
that's
actually.
True.
Yeah. So let me ask a question. Now, being that you're even talking about this because this is what you've been walking in.
Yeah.
Are you dating now? Are you?
You know what? I'm newly single. I was engaged for the past 2 years.
Okay.
And I think I came to a point where I realized that this was not going to be I didn't want to go through another divorce.
Okay.
So, we're still friends. We still love each other. Just doing the self-reflection to figure out whether or not we actually want to do this because that's super important.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have to go through a divorce again.
No.
So, that's where I am right now.
Okay.
I'm in a self-reflective state and, just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Man, perfect timing for this conversation, man.
I was just going to say kudos to you for understanding before you get into that space because a lot of times we rush into marriage and we're not fully there yet.
Yeah.
So, do you want to piggyback?
No,
off
I'm good. This is good.
So here's another question that I would like to ask you. Where you are right now, if it's one word that you could say, example, I'm in the version of myself right now that I'm working on is trusting or isolation, or what version of yourself are you right now that you're working on?
What am I working on? I'm working on trust.
Okay.
Trust in women again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard this before? You know how we'll say if somebody got raped or if there's child molestation, that's trauma, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that when we don't trust people, that's a trauma?
It is. Certainly. And this is something I learned along my journey as well. I accidentally stumbled into therapy.
Okay.
I had no plans on going to therapy.
Okay.
HPD almost shot me. And I decided to try to sue. And so my lawyer was like, all right, well, you're going to have to prove that you got PTSD or something. So you can go see this therapist. We got to try to build this case. And so I was going to this therapist and, I was the first few sessions, I was like, all right, I'm just here because I'm trying to
Get this case.
Get this case
yeah.
over with, yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, man, I got to come here anyway, so I might as well open up and talk about something real instead of wasting both of our time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized I had some daddy issues.
Okay.
You know, and I think that my lack of trust came from that, because there were certain times where I would be waiting for my dad to show up. It didn't happen the way that he said it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's where it kind of centers from, is not trusting people at their word.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man, that's the most important thing that you can do, is exactly what you said you was going to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that trust to be lost, I didn't believe anything anybody says. People tell me something, I'll be like, all right, maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I carried a lot of that into my interactions and relationships with women as well.
Got it.
And then that was a way to protect yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you,
Right.
listen, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
I'm not going to be bothered either way. Until it happens, I'll believe you when I see it.
Right.
So, and then not to mention Maurice, you know.
Maurice always lingering in the background.
Maurice on his shoulder.
Hey, what's up,
We're
baby?
watching right now whose name is Maurice. We apologize, but you know, hey.
Not really.
No.
I'll never forgive you.
Oh, man.
So I want to challenge something real quick. Because you talked about the vanity of certain things. It got to be a certain look, you know. Chemistry. Is chemistry important?
Yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, man.
So what if chemistry isn't random? Right. So talk about chemistry. You say, yeah, it's important. Talk about what chemistry means to you and what that looks like in a relationship.
So chemistry for me in a relationship, it's just, for me, it's all about genuineness, authenticness, being completely 100% yourself. Someone who's understanding, patient. What else? Man, my brain. There's so much going on in my mind.
It's a lot. It's a lot when it comes to chemistry. You know, I realize communication styles is very important. I don't like somebody that's going to be calling me all day. I don't like that. Text me. It ain't that important. No, don't be taking up my time, because if I have to hold the phone to my ear to talk to you, now you're taking one of my hands away from me being productive, doing something else.
Yeah.
So just hit me on the text.
Yeah.
I realize I prefer women that communicate with me that way.
Okay.
You know, chemistry can, you know, how I like to touch and be touched. You know what I'm saying? I think we go back to the love languages, right?
Yeah. Right.
So my love language is physical touch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not just sexually, but something that I get from my mom. My mom used to rub my head when I was little, you know, she used to massage my scalp. So little things like that, I realized that I need, you know, and so chemistry, you know, there's a lot involved with chemistry.
Yeah.
Another girl, you know, that I fumbled, she just was a little big, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful woman, man. And I wish, man, I could go back and apologize to her, because she was such a great woman, great personality. She's super funny. She could cook, you know, just like to have fun. And it was the vanity thing, the ego thing. It was just like, all right, you know, I don't know. If I bring her around my friend, they're going to be like, you know. Right. And then I was super skinny at the time. You know, I don't put on a little muscle now, but it was just like we was walking around looking like the number 10.
Oh, boy.
But we had great chemistry, though, you know.
I mean, it's okay. Listen, people like what they like.
This is real talk,
it is
man.
a real conversation. But people like
my
what they
God.
like. And I wonder if, no, I don't wonder if, I wonder how many people watching right now have done what Meek said. I fumbled, you know, a good person, because if I'm a little overweight for you and maybe I have everything else, if it's just that one thing, I would like for you to say, hey, can we do this? Because I just believe we have to be truthful women as well. If we need to lose some weight, we need to lose some weight. I think we've all been there. But it's okay for, you know, the guy to be like, babe, it's just one thing. And that one thing can we work out together? I just want you to lose a little weight. If you have a problem with that, move on. But if you like him and if the relationship is worth, fighting for, I can do that. I can do that.
Meek, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Meek, so the two fumbles, did you ever communicate with them about your issue?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. One ended up, she moved to Miami.
Okay.
She got married, had a child. Her husband actually passed away. And she'd reached out on Facebook, the past few months, and we checked on each other, but I still haven't mustered up the courage to apologize to her for how I treated her badly in the past,
Yeah, because I
Was this the one that had the little?
She had a little booty.
Little booty.
A little booty.
I mean, because it made. I mean, years have passed. I mean, she put on.
She's had a child. It may have filled out.
Maybe.
But
she's very modest, so she don't post those kind of pics on social media. So I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah. And I will say, I fumbled. I said, well, one. I ain't gonna mention the names, but yeah, man, was a beautiful woman, beautiful soul. I mean, we're good friends now, and I've experienced these things by trying to be in a relationship with someone, but also trying to entertain other stupidity in it. And when I've learned that never works out, because for some reason they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out. They're gonna go through your phone. It was so bad, man, where they was popping up at the house. I remember being on the freeway.
They popped up on the freeway?
Knocking on the doors. I remember one time me and my boy shot up my man Herman. We on the freeway with Herm. This woman grabbing us on 59, hitting us on the freeway, grabbing the back of his car.
Oh, you like them real crazy.
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 You talking about 65 mile an hour crazy.
Oh my God.
And so,
my God.
and it got to a point to where, of course, she just couldn't deal with that anymore. And we ended up parting ways. And but today we're good friends, what have you. But I understand, man. I get it. I just always didn't have the right words. I always try to consider their feelings than mine and just being truthful. So I try to just try to hide the emotions, try to ease it out instead of just being straight up, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? And it just kind of overflowed. It kind of overflowed into my relationships. But again, I take full responsibility, accountability for my actions. I don't blame anyone but myself. But yeah, man.
Sometimes that chemistry or lack of chemistry, reveals that there's an area that's unhealed. Like you haven't really healed in that area just yet. And then, because we've been talking about being attracted to a certain type.
Yeah.
And you feel familiar, right? We talked about, hey, someone that kind of had some of the characteristics of our mom. And I see a little suffering. I can help them out. Like you something familiar with you is connected with that individual. Only to realize that it just really wasn't that healthy for you.
Yeah.
But it was familiar.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you're comfortable with them. And so when you think about, well, man, what made me feel so comfortable or familiar with this person to the point to where we got into a relationship?
Yeah.
You talk about, you got types, body types, sizes. I mean, you know what I mean? I've been in situations where it's like, man, you're a dope chick, but I know me, and I know that I knew that I wouldn't be able to maintain or sustain this relationship because I know at the end of the day, the attraction is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? It's just weight limits, classes.
Yeah.
And I think social media kind of hurts.
And that's
with
vain.
It too. It's definitely vanity. But then you get on Instagram and it's big booties, tiggle bitties everywhere. It's
big.
nonstop.
Tiggle big.
It's nonstop.
It's nonstop.
So you like, wait a minute, hold on. Why should I settle for less? Because it's out there. It exists. It exists.
Yeah.
And so, that's the ego thing, man.
Yeah.
At least you're willing to admit that.
Yeah.
So I have a question. What unmet emotional need has been driving your choices?
What was that again?
What is it that you needed emotionally that was driving your choices? Like, is it, I want to feel validated. So, or I need affection, or I just want, some companionship at this moment. What was your emotional, what was driving you emotionally that you have been picking the same people? Because it obviously is something that you need.
That's correct. You know what? The relationships that I were in, I was really fighting for that connection,
Mhm.
feeling appreciated,
Mhm.
feeling validated,
Mhm.
feeling loved. Like Meek say, just look. I'm sorry. I was dating someone, rest her soul, my dad, and we were laying down, and I said, "Man, I'm just feeling real bad, feeling some kind of way right now." And her response was, "I mean, what you want me to do?"
Mm.
Oh, no.
I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. So when she said that to me, it kind of really devastated me a little bit, and that's that trust and like, man,
Mhm.
I just always wanted to feel appreciated and loved, and I was seeking that in that person, but they was just never just giving it back to me. So
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why I kind of stayed and things, because I'm trying to fight for attention. Like, hey, look at me, can you just love me? Can you hold me? Show me some type of affection? And so, yeah, man, just kind of took me down that little lane, man. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
What
so
what I've realized is that I've found my soulmates in pets. Straight up,
Yeah.
and women have pointed this out to me. I found in a couple of relationships, they were jealous of my relationship with my pets, with my dogs. And I was like, yo, insane, you're crazy. Why would you act like that? Why would you think that? And you're so affectionate with them, and I'm like, well, when I come home, they're always happy to see me. They ride with me wherever we go. They're happy just to get any amount of attention that they can from me. And they don't complain, so I think that I kind of have been looking for a co-pilot in this journey of life
Mhm.
that will be, first of all, okay with not thinking that we have to divide our love, that I can love my pets, my son, my family just as much as I love her,
Right.
and not be jealous about it, not complain about it, and support me in building my empire. And that's what I've been looking for.
Okay.
And that's really good. And we got a new guest to the stage, and we're talking about what unmet emotional need drove some of your choices and your decisions in relationships.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm gonna go deep with it, and it's that a lot of men, including myself, we deal with a lot of insecurities.
mm,
No matter how we look on the outside,
Mhm.
built, shape, tall, short, it don't matter. We deal with a lot of insecurities. Insecurities come from our childhood. Now, for me, for example, I can speak and I can say this here. My dad was my toughest critic.
mhm.
And, this is, my wife hate when I say this here, but it's true. My dad used to call me monkey boy.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Growing up, I was the monkey. And that took my insecurity all the way down. I was probably in the 5th or 6th grade, and females used to comment on my ears and say, "You are so cute. Your ears are so cute." But at home, my dad is calling me a monkey.
Right.
And so all of my insecurities now start coming
Mm,
to the women. So now I'm like, oh, I'm finna go get it.
Mm.
right.
And so that started my homeownerness. Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, my dad is knocking me,
Mhm.
but women are saying I'm cute. And that took me from the 6th grade all until I graduated, all the way up until, because I'm like, okay, you see what I'm saying? So those are things that every man fight with.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I mean, but you'll never know. So for me, it's like now my security
Mhm.
is in me now. Yeah, I
Mm,
mean,
that's good.
because I can't hold my past no more
Right.
Yeah.
to my future.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I can't allow my past to hurt my wife,
Right.
my daughter, anybody else who's a female in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So at that time, that emotional need that was not met was being driven by your father calling you the name. And so now that validation,
Yeah.
oh, I got this validation over here because
Yeah.
I'm out here now knocking them down.
Mhm.
And they love me. or they appreciate the ears, or whatever the case may be. And so that's feeding. It's feeding that insecurity with security, right? You're just laying on top of it, but it's still under there. Right?
Yes.
You can put as many bodies as you want on top of it. At the root, that thing is still there. And until you pluck that up, then it could still be what is the subconsciously driving behavior, and you not even know it.
Yes, and so I realized that half the time, men and women, when they go through the relationships, love, whatever it may be, and it's turmoil. If it's her, it's not really about him. It's about whatever she been through or went through in her life. And if it's him, it's really not about her. It's about what he went through and what he's fighting and battling in his life. So, you might got guys who beat women, fight women, call them out their name. It's really not about her. It's what he's been through.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is a good point to one of the things that we created a journal, the Love and Truth Journal, and it's a prompting journal, and it's available. You'll see it here on the screen. But in that journal, we talk about past childhood traumas, family dynamics, right? We don't talk about it. It's a prompting journal to get you to have conversations with yourself, with your partner, and you answer these questions. And you ask questions like, well, what happened to you in your childhood that still affects you today? It's a private journal. You talk about it, you write it down. And if you're with your partner, now you can share that in a safe space and say, oh, I didn't realize you went through that. Right? And then the second stage of it is past relationships. It's promptings on, what was your last relationship like? Was it toxic? How did it end? Are y'all still in communication with each other? Like what happened in your previous relationships? Because oftentimes people drag their past relationships into the current relationship, but you never told her that your previous relationship, you were hurt. She treated you this way. Whatever happened, right?
Yeah.
And so we go through that journal prompting, and then the last piece is around, okay, so what are we dealing with? Like you said, it's not him or her. It's like what we've been through. So let's attack the root problem, but we got to get it on the table so we can talk about it. So I just wanted to plug that in there right there. So
yeah, well, let me go ahead and plug this in. Go to www.loveandtruthpodcast.com. Join our community, number one. Number two, you can order the journal, and we're going to be doing some lives over there. So, yeah. So then, that was just a good place to plug in.
Yeah,
okay, the next question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What relationship taught you the greatest lesson about yourself? Because before you answer, sometimes we get in relationships and it's not the relationship you needed to be in, but the relationship came to reveal something. Right? That's what some relationships do. That's why people are like, I wasted my time. No, you didn't. You learned something about you. So what relationship taught you the greatest lesson about yourself?
Ooh, I fumbled another one.
Well, Tony Romo is,
man. And we're still friends, luckily. But so funny story. I had DJ'd her graduation party. She got her master's degree. When I DJ'd her party, she was actually married.
Okay.
But I knew it was like almost like love at first sight. As soon as I saw her, I was like, somehow, we're gonna connect. I couldn't figure it out because she was married. She had 3 kids. 10 years later, she's divorced, and we reconnect. And I'm telling her this. I'm like, this is how I felt when I first saw her. She's like, nah, get out of here. I'm like, nah, for real. And so I'm thinking this is destiny. It's meant to be. And so I'm gonna I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to make this happen, make it work. And everything is great. Chemistry is great. We love the same music. Everything was fantastic. And we decided not to rush into a relationship. So we said, we're going to take things slow because I had come out of a marriage. She come out of a marriage. And so we didn't put a title on it. And then we said we would meet and agree when we decide to formalize a relationship. And so I knew the deadline was coming up for us to be in this relationship.
Okay.
Because I done met her children.
Yeah.
I done met her family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I flew, out of state and met her friends and family. So it was like, all right, this is about to happen in like 2 weeks. We're about to be an official couple. So I was like, all right, so now I gotta, whatever lust I got in me, I got 2 weeks to go play.
I don't know if that's what that meant. Go ahead.
At the time, because I hadn't evolved past this thought, and then I had this other girl that I had met out of town, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Houston next weekend. Let's hook up." And I'm like, I bet, because I only got about 10 days left before I'm in a relationship.
Yeah,
hooked up with this girl. Didn't think anybody was gonna find out. The girl I hooked up with went and wrote a blog about it. About this wonderful guy in Houston. He's a DJ. She didn't name me, but she listed everything about me. It could only be me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this gets published to like Bossip, right? And straight up.
Wow.
And like immediately women in Houston reaching out like, yo, this girl wrote this thing about you. And I was like, what? Gets back to the girl who I was about to be in a relationship with, and that's what ended it.
Wow.
And so what I learned is that
Wow.
Yeah, Meek, that's good, man. That's
wow.
Yeah.
So what was the lesson?
the lesson was in lust for me, controlling lust.
Yeah.
Because I messed up potentially a great thing for a weekend with some chick. I don't even remember the girl's name.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to say this one thing about what you just said, and thank you for all of you guys, for being very honest. Something that I've learned about lust, you can meet somebody and then just give it some time and get closer. You'll find what I thought I liked, I don't even like.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought that was. And then it's just letting you know, hey, whatever that lust demon, you got to tame him, because you will mess up so much stuff on temporary looks. That's what got Adam and Eve. This fruit still look good. It still look good. So anyway, what's your next question, baby?
No, they got to answer this question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
got.
Meek be coming with the bangers.
Yeah. This is good.
That's 3 fumbles out in there.
I got one. That's 3. You got one
Man.
So the question was, what relationship taught you the greatest lesson about yourself?
Honestly, just being truthful with myself, being honest.
What was the relationship? Kind of give us a little.
Where you weren't being truthful. And you decided you need to be truthful.
Well, yeah. You got to give us a little bit of the.
Golly, man.
Without naming names and writing blogs.
Wow.
We got a whole column written about it.
Shoot, nothing as devastating as this. But, but I'm, what?
So not being honest created what? Like something happened. Like I wasn't being honest, transparent, truthful. Like which relationship
that's
kind of really crystallized that?
The relationship that I was referring to about the whole popping up, the women popping up and all these different things and knocking on doors. And, it just taught me, man, to show me that, man, just be honest and transparent with people. Stop misleading folks to thinking certain things when it's not what it is. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, they already know you lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know you lying. They just want you to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can just move on. So it just taught me to just be honest, be transparent. And, so you don't have to deal with all the headache.
Yeah.
All the mess that comes with that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so can I go back to another question?
You can.
What I'm working on with myself is my spirit. Right? My spirit, really knowing who I am and not based upon what people think of me, right?
Yeah.
And just isolating myself into a space where I can learn more about me, controlling me, understanding me first. So that way I can go into a relationship peacefully with respect and understanding,
Yeah.
So that's just where I'm at. Just really just talking to me, going in the closet, just being honest, getting rid of all the nonsense and just deeply reflecting and letting all those things go. So that's just, I want to tap back into that.
No, that's good.
So,
that's good.
Yeah.
Mr. Dominique, what you were gonna say?
I mean, so for me, I'm not gonna be like my boy over here fumbling balls. I think what I did,
Yeah.
I actually caught the pass.
Okay.
The pass was thrown my way,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to run a 10-yard out.
Okay.
I ran that 10-yard out, and I'm gonna go all the way back when I first met my wife.
Mm.
I took her out with me. We went to his spot that he was hosting at the time. We walked in. Keto was like, "Hey, my boy, hey, what's up, boy?" And he said, "Yo, this your wife."
Mm.
He said, "This is your wife."
Yeah.
And we was just dating at the time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Man, this your wife, bro." Out of everybody I done seen,
Yes. Yes.
this your wife. I said, "All right, cool." Now I kind of knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So we go ahead and get engaged, and we're together now. And before I got my wife, I was dating this other chick who was high profile.
Mm-hmm.
She had a lot going on, a lot of rental properties, HR, just doing great things. But I caught her cheating on me with one of her employees that she was over.
Okay.
And I went out one night just trying to have me a drink. And I was at the bar is when I see my wife sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, my ex now is trying to get me back and doing everything in her power to get me back. She's calling me. It's like, "Hey, listen, I'm finna move to Buffalo. You could take over the rental properties in the Heights. And I'll pay you so much a month, but let's just work on this. I'll pay for counsel. I'll do everything." I'm just like, "Nah, I'm good." Because now I don't met
My wife.
chick.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And confirmation came from Keto.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my brother and a homeboy, we're out one night and I get a phone call from this other chick who says, "Hey, boy, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, girl, what's up, man? How you been?" She said, "Man, I'm just chilling." I said, "Man, where you been? I ain't seen you in a while." "Oh, I'm in the city." "Where you at?" I said, "I'm at so-and-so spot." She's "All right, I'm gonna slide through there." I said, "Who you with?" "By myself, boy, I'm gonna come through and have a drink with y'all." I said, "All right, come on through." Well, she came through. She had my ex with her.
Oh.
And my ex just got in town. And so my ex got out the car, come in the club where we smoking cigars at. And she goes, "Hey." I'm like, "What's up?" She was like, "Well, I'm in town. I want to talk to you. If we can just talk." And I'm like, "Nah, it ain't gonna be good. My brother's right here. My homeboy's right here, And she goes, "Well, listen, I'm at a hotel. Here's my number. Here's the hotel I'm at. Just come through. Just give me an hour to talk to you." And she left, right? True story. I can't even make this up. She left. I still had a full cigar. I looked at my brother and I said, "Hey, y'all, I'm finna head to the house."
Yes, sir.
I put that cigar out and I went home to my future wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now we're married 5 years in.
That's good.
But what it taught me was that men can have control
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
when we choose to have control.
Talk.
That's good.
Just like women can have control.
Talk.
But I got my butt home.
Yeah.
And I think that's what saves me
Mm-hmm.
from not fumbling the ball.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You ran that 10 and out.
Story.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's a good story. Were you gonna say something, Keto?
No, it's very because that's just really good, man. It's just really good because I remember him coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
So prior to that, I don't know if this is the same person.
Mm-hmm.
He came with someone to this particular place I was at,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Like, yeah, it was her.
I was like, Some weeks went by. He came again, and that's when I said, "That's your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's her."
Yeah.
And sure enough, he looked at me and said, "Got it." He said that. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And the most beautiful woman ever, fun, charismatic, personable, smart. She's a scientist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just super smart. Just so cool, down to earth, just beautiful soul.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That is good.
Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
A lot of my knowledge and information when it comes to relationships is from watching, and paying attention. That's what I learned,
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how someone can commit. And I'm seeing it. I watched it. And so that's where my inspiration comes from.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
because I never was really taught it,
Yeah.
but I watch it. So I had good examples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even Meek is he's a good dude though, man. He's a great
Oh,
guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've evolved.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's important is finding somebody that you can evolve with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not expecting them to be the same exact person from the beginning of the relationship.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah. So,
Correct.
you know, that's what I look for now is
Mhm.
can I evolve with this person?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's good. You know what? And then just a closing comment because we're at time. Like I like what you just said. And what would you say? And if you can say to the brothers in the camera that are watching.
Who, me?
No, not you. Him.
Oh,
No, you ain't no brother.
looked at me, baby, and I'm trying to figure.
You ain't talking to no brothers in no camera.
I think the main thing I would say to any man that's watching this podcast is that find out who you are. Enjoy and love who you are. And when you find out who you are, you won't try to get with a woman or make a woman into what you want her to be because you're already that. Now she's just coming in and she's complimenting everything who you already are. Period.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Okay. When to close us out, go ahead.
All right. Well, you know what? Thank you guys for tuning in on this episode. And what is the title, baby?
What's the title?
Yeah, what's the title?
Oh, it's going
The Man in the Mirror. That's the
what we're
title.
starting at. The Man in the
We
Mirror.
want you to look at the man in the mirror and be vulnerable with yourself and tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself if you're struggling. Tell yourself it's not time to be in a relationship yet. If you just got out of one and you know that she hurt you really bad, take some time and just love you like Mr. Dominique said. But until next time, peace.
Peace.
Peace.